What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Now, those of you that are regulars to the stream will know that horror games are not really something that I play often or even bring to the channel often, but through the advice of someone, I actually gave Madison a chance and played it over a couple of streams. Let's say, I guess the last 2 or 3 weeks, essentially dividing into small little bite-sized chunks, 2 to 3 hours at a time, and I had a whole bunch of fun with this game. And actually it has sort of like made me interested more in the genre, and I've already got my eyes on some additional games here. But today we need to talk about Madison because I do want to give the game the flowers that it deserves. And if you are someone that, like me, has not really dabbled with horror games all that much in the past, I would consider this game as a great place for you to start off at. Now, I don't want to give away too much of the plot, obviously, because this is a no spoiler sort of view of it, but I can say that while this game, obviously any horror game has a little bit of jump scare kind of situation going on, there's a psychological factor to this game which definitely plays heavily into the dread that you feel when you play it, and I had an absolute blast going through it. Horror games tend to, involve, unless it's, something like Resident Evil or something like that, it tends to involve puzzle solving and things like that. I mean, come to think of it, Jesus, Resident Evil has a ton of puzzles as well, so I don't know what I'm saying, but the point is that this is something that often in a way scares me off. These horror games is sometimes the puzzles in them can be very, very obscure or difficult to solve and everything like that. And I don't want to sit here with a walkthrough open or something like that and play the game, because then that actually in some cases actually spoils the scares that you can get from it, so it's counterintuitive. So nonetheless, Madison has this mechanic where you have this camera that you're walking around with the whole time, a Polaroid camera, and you have to take pictures with this every once in a while, and that's actually gonna reveal a solution or give you a hint towards what you're supposed to be trying doing, or actually just gonna advance the story in different ways. That's really all I'm gonna say about it. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything or give away too much of it, but then you're basically trapped in this house and you're trying to use this camera to solve it and everything like that. And as mentioned, of course there are puzzles, but I was really blessed. I was of course playing it on stream and I was getting a lot of help from the audience and everything. And it was a great way for us all to hang out together and experience the scares and the dread and the crazy shit together, but also sort of like mind meld and make it a little bit easier for me to solve those puzzles. Now, this game is out on a ton of platforms. I played it on PC, of course, and bought it on Steam, but it's available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Series X, Series S. So it's basically available on the platform of your choice, and I can imagine this can be pretty insane playing it on a big screen TV in your lounge or something like that with the lights turned down low and all of that. It can be quite awesome. I probably need to check that out at some point and see how that actually plays. I think it will be quite interesting. But what you're looking at here is roughly about 12 to 16 hours of entertainment. Depending of course on how good you are at solving the puzzles, everything like that. I didn't find anything that necessarily slowed me down too much. There were 1 or 2 kind of head scratches in it, but as mentioned earlier, it wasn't nearly as frustrating as these games sometimes can be when the puzzles are fairly obscure and everything like that. Now, as mentioned, the camera mechanic features heavily into the game, but other than that, it's also the typical fare with this, that you have an inventory with items and you kind of have to figure out, okay, I have to use this with that and I have to use this with that. And what this game also heavily leans into is hints left around for you that are either written on a wall or in a notepad or anything like that. And since you guys know that I play with notepads and stuff next to me at all times, there's also a certain something that I like about that, being able to, sort of like draw myself a little map and figure things out and all of that. It kind of always makes me feel like I'm some kind of like, hotshot investigator that's investigating a case or something like that and going through it. But like I said, again, I don't have a huge amount of games that I can compare this against. Generally speaking, the horror games that I consume are in the Resident Evil realm, and this is obviously nothing like that, but it was a super enjoyable experience, and I'm actually looking to try some additional ones. So let me know in the comments down below which other horror games you could suggest to me to give a try, and I could probably stream them or something like that. And these are always great chances for us to interact with the audience and stuff as well. So I absolutely think that this might be something that becomes a regular on the channel, and I look forward to it in like a weird fucked up way, because obviously it is super anxiety causing when you are actually playing the game and you got the scares and everything like that going on. But That's it for the video, short one today. Like I said, what I'm trying to do now is on Mondays bring like something that's a little bit not Outriders related to the channel, and just some suggestions of games that I play when I'm not playing Outriders, because of course there are other things I play and there's other things that I could potentially suggest to you, and likewise you to me, that we could enjoy on the channel and basically play together. But that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. It's just super important to me that you have a fantastic morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are in the world. And until next video, fucking cheers.
They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me now, best of me now, best of me now, best of me. They want the best of me.